Hey, what's up? It's John Samuel, and welcome to All Access Live. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a long time since we've been on, but I'm glad to be back. And today we have a very special guest. We have the most recent team member of Ablr. We have Arielle Giants, who has joined the Ablr team as the new accessibility coordinator. I guess you're not that new anymore.
Yeah, I'm a month in now.
All right. But welcome, Arielle. So excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
And Ariel, I mean, you joined the team uh, in a unique way because, like, we had been, recruiting and looking for folks, and we had some really great candidates. And then, your resume came to us in like almost out of the blue. And can you share a little bit about kind of your accessibility journey and how you ended up getting to Abler?
Absolutely. I've worked quite a bit in project management and coordination fields, and I actually partnered with an organization who helps military members as well as military spouses who are transitioning or looking for new employment. And since I've had a break in my resume since relocating and getting settled again, I reached out to them, and they're such a great organization, and they kind of walk you through the process of getting back out there. And they're called Hiring Our Heroes, and they're just a fantastic organization doing such great things for the community. And they sent out my resume to the LCI, which is where you guys came across it.
Mhm.
And it's been so awesome to be part of the team.
No, I'm so excited to have you and to bring that project management experience. And then also, you know, you and I, it was during one of our conversations that I learned about hiring our heroes and the program that you went through. And it's so funny. You and I had a meeting yesterday with our colleague Liv Evans, who works with our Abler Works, the workforce development program. And we were talking about your experience through hiring our heroes. And at the same time, yesterday, I saw that a colleague, Ray Trapp, had recently just left his role over at the RTP Foundation and joined a new organization. And I'm blanking on the name right now, but they're a workforce development program. And as I was looking at that organization's name, you know, it says other people follow these organizations, and one of them was Hiring Our Heroes.
That's
And I
awesome.
was like, thank goodness you told me about this because I would have been like, what is this? But I knew, and it was pretty amazing. So can you kind of talk through what that program was like, the Hiring Our Heroes program, like kind of whatever you kind of shared a couple of the kind of steps, kind of the skills that they helped you kind of refine and hone as you entered the job search.
Absolutely. So their main focus, I would say, is probably military members getting out of the military, and then they've
Mm-hmm.
encompassed spouses into that as well, as they saw how hard it is for spouses to get meaningful employment, especially with so much transition in their lives. And so, what they really do is they've partnered with Google and help get certifications through the Google program as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a field you're interested in or you have experience in and you want to get that certification as well, you go through Google's program where they have a few different ones. I know there's UX design, project management, and a few other ones as well. And you get to take those courses. And as you're going through those courses, you're in a cohort together. So you get to kind of lean on each other when you have questions and meet together. And while you're going through that process, they really help you build your resume so that way it works with modern day resumes of
Yeah.
applications. It's so different every year, and especially with the implementation of AI and the search engines. Um, it's very different from the way you used to be taught to set up your resume, or if you were leaving the military, you may have never created one because
Yeah.
you were in your military career, and that's just very different structure. So they kind of really help you refine that process as you go through so that way you can gain meaningful employment. As they say in the program, always be career ready. So they
Yes.
just really help you focus on that. And then after you're done with the program of getting your certification, um, there's two options you can do. They either help you get hired direct to hire, or
Yep.
you can continue with them in a fellowship opportunity where they place you with host companies, which help you get that hands-on experience, especially if you're entering a new field altogether and you may not have experience in that industry. It's a great opportunity to kind of get your hands in that industry and get your confidence.
But I mean, kind of transitioning back to kind of what you're doing now at Abler, you didn't necessarily, maybe I'm incorrect, did you have any previous work experience with others with disabilities before you joined?
I wouldn't say in this capacity. I did work in healthcare, so it
Mm-hmm.
was in a different way. I was a CNA for many years, so I worked with people who either were long-term care needs or maybe they just had surgery and needed rehabilitation. And so it was really working with mobility.
Yeah.
So I had a lot more knowledge on the mobility side and physical therapy and that side of disability.
Yeah.
But this accessibility field has definitely been new to me,
Yeah.
and it's been such an exciting challenge. I love a challenge. So it's been so much fun, and I feel working underneath Kim, it's like working under the master. I feel so privileged to be able to work underneath her because she just has so much knowledge in this industry. And she's just been so freely pouring that into me, and it's been such an opportunity, and I feel very grateful to be able to be learning from her.
So, what has been something that surprised you about that you learned about an accessibility that you're like, maybe like, I've been doing this, I just didn't realize it was kind of tied to accessibility?
I would say a lot of things were mind opening for me that I've been doing wrong, especially in marketing and branding and SEO, all the things that we kind of are taught as tips and like tricks of the industry as far
Yeah.
as getting out on the search engine and everything is really harming the accessibility movement.
Mm.
And so it was really eye-opening for me to see, especially with, like tagging and alt text and all of that, how we misappropriate it and
Yeah.
what its intentions are and how important they are. So
Yes.
seeing a screen reader function for the first time was so you just can't go back after you see how that functions on a website. You realize, oh my gosh, this is I can't imagine this is how you're trying to navigate the digital space, and so many websites just are not accessible. And so it's great what you guys are doing and really making that digital space accessible for everybody and seeing the difference when we're going through different websites and seeing the changes being made is so amazing, and you guys are doing such amazing work, and it has been so mind-opening for me.
Well, now you're part of us, so it's the
I
we,
know,
right?
it's so exciting. I'm loving it.
But you're right. That's one of my favorite things is when you have those aha, you get to see the folks who've never seen a screen reader in action and how,
Yes.
how not just like inaccessible or I mean, just not how usable or just how the site wasn't being used or they're not having the experience that was intended by users, if that makes sense, right? Like if somebody
Right.
who's designing a new site, they're like they are designing for somebody to have a great experience, and when they see someone with a screen reader go through it, they're like, oh my gosh, there's this
Right.
aha moment. I didn't realize that this is someone else's experience going through this, and it's like you don't know what you don't know, and all that,
Exactly.
and you,
Exactly. Once you see it, it's altering.
that's correct, right? And it's like, aha. And then you also get the designers and developers like, oh, I get it. Aha. I see what the issue is. Let me go and I can fix that. Right?
Right. And that's what I really like about how you guys implement everything, because you don't just deliver the report, because it's one thing to see it on a report, but then when you see the workflow that they create and you get
Yeah.
to see actually how that report is in real life, watching somebody go through the site, it really connects those dots in between the report and the actual user experience.
Yeah. And that's why I think, I often talk about how accessibility isn't just about a line of code. It's about
Right.
human experiences, right? We're talking about how does a human experience this? So you can't just throw an automated solution at it. You can't just throw an AI solution at it. Because at the end of the day, it's about how are people experiencing it? And the people
Right.
using assistive technology, people who have various disabilities, that's we need to see that and experience that. What are you excited about kind of the next steps of this stuff the work that you're doing?
Ooh, that's a good question. All of it. All of it. I just wish I could just open up my brain and just download the information because I just want to know it all. So I have
Yes.
to pace myself and remind myself, you just got to learn it step at a step, even though there is so much and I'm so excited about it all that I just want to know it all. But luckily, Kim is very good at pacing me and making sure I'm getting each step down before I try to jump ahead too far.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think you are taking the vine by the hand. You're grabbing on and you're taking control, which is awesome to see and hear about. And then also, I think accessibility is a journey, right? And
Absolutely.
a lot of people, it can be overwhelming, right? You're just super excited to get into it, and a lot of people they find it to be daunting. They're like, oh my gosh, there's just so much, right?
There is a lot.
But then it's like taking it, I like what you said, taking it piece by piece, right? Taking it piece by piece and realize that this is a journey, and that you know it's better to take this, gradually embed it into everything you do, rather than trying to just like grab everything and then forget some things. But I think the more you
Right. Nice to be a part of such a great team. I know I've said this before, but it is it's very different team that you've built here, and everybody
can
is so respectful and kind to one another, and you have such a great dynamic that you just can't help but be excited to go to work every day.
well, I'm so glad to hear that, because it is exciting. It's like we have such a good time. And again, when we're trying to, our purpose is, it's a good one. I feel we're trying to help people.
Absolutely. And I get to tell my boys what my new job is, and they are so proud of me and they get to see the good works that we're doing. And I showed them what a screen reader was. And
Yeah.
it's just so great to be able to be part of something you could be proud of for your kids as well.
Oh, for sure, right? I think my biggest fan is my son Eli. Like, he thinks I'm the coolest thing ever. But one thing I'm super excited about, having you on the team is helping us to scale, right? And because we can build around, like we've been just like building, building, building. And as we start to think about the next stage of the business, having people like yourself who can come in and help us make sure that we're consistent, repeatable, and scalable is critical. And I feel like you're one of those first pieces as we start to think about the growth of the business, right? Because we need to be able to take this, keep our culture, keep the smiles, keep everything going.
Right.
But how do we make it repeatable and scalable? And so, I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, how, you and I've had some great conversations, but like, that's what I'm most excited about. Are you excited about that?
I am. Like I said, I'm always up for a challenge. I love a challenge. People have tried to bet against me, but they don't win. So keep it coming.
Yeah. And I think that mentality that's like the Ablr motto, right? Everyone bets against us. And it's like,
Absolutely.
we just keep chugging along. We just keep moving and we prove people wrong. And it's, you know, so
Absolutely. And
I'm glad you said that.
yeah, and not to get off subject, but I did just finish reading your book and I I mean, feel like everybody can just relate to that story and how important that is. And we all have struggles and triumphs, and we just got to keep climbing that mountain, and getting your victories. And they empower you every time you get a victory to chase that next challenge.
No, I totally agree with you, right? It's like, and we have to just keep, yeah, just take the next challenge, take the next one, and they just keep adding up, and you'll see, like, those victories keep adding up, and you end up at the top. And but
Right.
it's a resiliency, I think. We all,
So never discount somebody else's opinions or how their thoughts as well, because everybody, I mean, like being a military wife, and I always say I'm a traveler, I'm a rolling tumbleweed. From
yes,
the time I was a baby, we've moved all the time. So I definitely got to travel all around this country, and I got to meet so many different people, and everybody has their own thoughts, opinions, and processes of how they do things. And so it's always so amazing to kind of pull those informations from people, and you can implement them in different ways. So it's always great to have that diversity in thought.
no, for sure, right? And that's a very unique perspective that you bring to the table. And also, I love your approach to failure as well, right? And it's so funny. Last week or this week, the Denver Nuggets, they won the NBA championship, and
Yes,
Nikola Jokic, the MVP, he was talking about how they had to fail to get to where they were today, right?
absolutely.
And
I'm a
so,
Denver native, so
oh, you are?
I
Did
was definitely rooting them.
you? Yeah, and that when he talked about it, I was like, God, I just, it was so humbling to hear him say that they needed that to get to where they were today. So, well,
Absolutely.
I guess
You
maybe
always come
that's a
back stronger, right?
come back stronger, right? And so I
Might
appreciate
not
this.
see it in the moment, but it happens.
No, totally. No, I appreciate you sharing and just sharing a bit about your journey here, kind of sharing your views on on resiliency, failure, and and being a rolling tumbleweed. And I'm glad that tumbleweed has rolled into Abler, and we're so thankful to have you. And I can't wait to see where we go together.